Hello everyone, this is Yoko. In this channel, I will share information in English about events happening in China that may not be known to other countries, based on the information I have gathered from various media sources. I would appreciate your comments on the video content since I've collected information from multiple sources. If you find the content interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel and supporting us. Now, I'd like to introduce several topics related to Chinese society in this video. Firstly, China is currently facing a crisis in blood transfusion and a shortage of blood. Due to this shortage, there are calls for blood donations. In the past, China had a system where blood was sold, but it had various drawbacks. Some people selling blood for money were using drugs or had illnesses. Selling blood while hiding illnesses could potentially lead to the spread of diseases. Due to these issues, the buying and selling of blood were stopped, and now society relies on donations. Those working in the construction industry are currently relied upon for blood donations, probably thinking about contributing to others or society. However, there is a perception, especially among Japanese people, that Chinese individuals are selfish and only think about themselves or their close ones. This perception may have arisen from the aggressive behavior of Chinese individuals observed by the Japanese. In reality, Chinese society comprises various types of people, including those who genuinely care about others. There are both individuals who exploit others and those who actively contribute to society. Regarding the blood shortage, there is a suspicion that while the construction industry is being exploited by some privileged classes, the builders themselves might also be exploited. Doubts about the fair distribution of donations during disasters and concerns about whether collected blood is distributed fairly have long existed in China. Recently, a couple from Shanghai was involved in a traffic accident during their honeymoon trip to Tibet, resulting in the woman being seriously injured. The woman was transported to the People's Hospital by charter plane, incurring a considerable amount of expenses. This incident has sparked discussions about the fairness of China's medical resources and privileges enjoyed by specific individuals. The situation remains unresolved, and debates about this incident and the broader issues it highlights continue. By the way, according to Chinese media, this woman is not considered a special individual, and her relatives are said to be ordinary working people. There are reports that she moved to another hospital by a charter plane costing more than 20 million Japanese yen. It is mentioned that the funds for this were collected by the woman's family, reaching out to various sources, and the Chinese government is stating that she is not receiving any special treatment. However, in China, the cost of getting married is already considerable. This expense is not borne solely by the individuals themselves but, in some cases, is assisted by parents and other relatives. In other words, immediately after marriage, there is usually no financial flexibility. Still, the fact that more than 20 million yen in Japanese yen could be quickly collected implies that this woman is not an ordinary person. In such cases, it is common to think that the person has some connection with Communist Party officials or someone influential. Furthermore, after the woman involved in the accident, her aunt contacted the satellite department in Shanghai, and the health department in Shanghai reportedly contacted the authorities in Tibet. Some reports suggest that the Shanghai government appealed to local authorities through an office established in Tibet. The result was a mobilization order to local officials for massive construction. The identity of this aunt is under scrutiny, and according to recent information from Chinese media, she is said to be an improvement laborer in a handicraft-related factory. However, considering the situation in China, it seems unusual for a simple contact by an ordinary person to prompt such significant government action. Therefore, some skepticism about the credibility of the information is warranted. In China, it seems that there is a perception that not everyone is treated equally in terms of medical care. Recently, there has been a decrease in construction workers in China, leading to a shortage of blood for transfusions. Even if someone undergoes a blood transfusion, there is a growing concern that they might not receive the treatment they need in case of an emergency. This situation has led to an increase in reported cases of blood shortages. Finally, I would like to share another incident that illustrates how situations unfold in a specific country. This incident involves the killing of a police officer by a civilian, which occurred several years ago but has recently resurfaced with new information. This incident took place in the town of Guizhou in Jiangxi province. Since this region may not be familiar to Japanese viewers, it might be worth looking at a map. Guizhou is located near Ganyu in Jiangsu province and is known for its coal mining industry. In this town, a citizen killed a police officer using a shovel loader. The incident sheds light on the current situation in China, suggesting that economic development and stability are not guaranteed, contrary to what is commonly believed. The story implies that many people in China still live in such challenging conditions. The person responsible for the incident spent their entire life in this region and had their elementary school education interrupted due to family circumstances. This fact raises questions about the perception that all regions in China are developing equally, and every child receives proper education. In this challenging situation, even if one wishes to work, there are significant constraints, and physical labor becomes predominant. In such circumstances, this individual started working immediately after graduating from elementary school, mastering the skill of operating a shovel loader. Having honed their technical skills from a young age, this person aimed to enhance their life using this expertise. This individual brought a souvenir to the local boss and was involved in requesting work. Of course, this local boss is also a member of the Communist Party. The initial gift brought was agricultural produce, but the village official, who was about to carry out irrigation construction in the village, offered a job worth 5,000 yuan for 10 days, completing it in 1 day. Therefore, the total payment was promised to be 5,000 yuan. However, when the construction was completed, instead of the expected 5,000 yuan, this person received only 3,000 yuan. Disappointed, they bought double the amount of gifts, 20 yuan, and went back to the village boss, asking for the promised 5,000 yuan. Surprisingly, the village official denied ever promising 5,000 yuan and insisted it was 3,000 yuan from the beginning. The difference was 2,000 yuan, roughly equivalent to 4,000 yen at the current exchange rate. This amount is significant in rural China. The person, feeling angered, exchanged the gifts for a crowbar and, fueled by alcohol, went to the village boss's house, demanding the promised payment. When the village boss didn't comply, the person, now using a shovel loader, began to destroy the boss's house. The situation escalated, with the police being called. The person attacked the police with the shovel loader, resulting in the death of the deputy director of the local police. Eventually, the person was arrested and sentenced to death. The article concludes with the reflection on how, in such situations, relying on legal means might not be effective. The comments from Chinese netizens suggest a lack of trust in the legal system, and the narrative emphasizes the potential for individuals to take matters into their own hands when they feel their rights are violated. This portrayal reflects a growing sense of discontent and frustration among people in China, especially when facing economic challenges and feeling that they have nothing to lose. The narrative implies that economic difficulties in China go beyond just financial issues and may lead to social unrest and individuals resorting to extreme actions. The Chinese Communist Party fears the spread of such actions nationwide. That concludes our story for today. Until next time.